Hi, I'm Jan Muller. Congratulations on your purchase of the Foodsaver VH-2000. We're here to make sure that it's fun and easy for you to use. Now, I know that you're excited about learning all the things that you can do with your new Foodsaver. But before you start, I have a couple of good ideas. Make sure you keep your new Foodsaver out on the counter. You'll find it will become the most used appliance in your kitchen. Next, take everything out of the box and find the two most important things: the Foodsaver manual with the warranty card inside, and of course this video. Now, take just a few minutes to fill out the paperwork. Now, I know most people don't like to do that, but if you'll just take a few minutes right now to fill out the warranty card, tear it out, mail it in to us, we can enter you into our customer service system. That way, if there's any product updates or if you call in for service, we'll be able to help you much quicker. It's a good idea to keep our customer service number handy, and make sure that you read your Foodsaver manual thoroughly from cover to cover. It's got lots of good suggestions and tips on how to use your new Foodsaver. As a matter of fact, it's not a bad idea to review the Foodsaver manual along with this tape. So if you don't have it right now and you want to get it, just put your VCR on pause and I'll be here when you get back. Let's review the different operating parts of the Foodsaver VH-2000. This is the operating lever. It lifts up to open, push down to close. Now there's quite a few things on the operating lever. This is the on switch, the sealer activator, sealer indicator, vacuum activator arrow, vacuum indicator light, jar attachment port, and locking clips. Now you use the locking clips each time you're going to vacuum pack. All you do is press down and push the clips in towards the middle of the machine. To release the clips, all you do is press down. Now when you're vacuum packing bags, the clips will automatically release for you. This is the on switch. Hold it down whenever you're vacuuming bags, jars, or canisters, and when you seal bags. This is the vacuum activator arrow. When the vacuum is complete, it will turn green. This is the sealer activator. When you're finished vacuuming a bag, press it down while you're still pressing down the on switch. That will seal the bag, and it will shut off automatically. This is the sealer indicator. The red sealer indicator light will come on when the sealer is activated. It shuts off automatically. This is the jar attachment port, or opening. This is where you attach the hose when you're going to vacuum pack jars and Foodsaver canisters. Now let's look at what's underneath the operating lever. This is really where all the vacuum packing action takes place. This Teflon coated sealer bar protects the heating wire. That way you can seal bags without melting them. This is the sealing pressure tube. It presses the bags into the sealer bar. There are two pressure pads located in the Foodsaver. One in the operating lever here, and one that completely surrounds the vacuum channel. They hold the bags in place when you're vacuuming and sealing. They keep the air from entering the bag. The vacuum channel is located right here. This is where you lay the edge of the Foodsaver bag when you're going to vacuum pack. This is the electric cord port. It's a really good idea to plug your Foodsaver in so it'll turn on for you. And we don't recommend that you use an extension cord because it will diminish the power. Now you can store the extra cord right here in the storage area underneath the Foodsaver. Now that you've learned about the operating parts of your new Foodsaver, let's start vacuum packing. Okay, let's start using your new Foodsaver by vacuum packing using bags. Now, during this part of the demonstration, I'll have the Foodsaver facing away from me. That way it's easier for you to see. But at home, you might want to turn the Foodsaver around and have it facing you. Now, the bag material comes in two widths, 8 inches wide and 11 inches wide. So you can make and cut a bag any size you want. We also make Foodsaver bags that are pre-cut. They're 8 inches wide by 11.5 inches long, and they're sealed at one end. Now remember, these bags are washable and reusable, so don't throw them away after the first time you use them. Okay, let's make a bag and vacuum pack some cheese. Now when you're going to vacuum pack the cheese, you take your 8-inch roll of bags, roll it out on your counter, and make the bag about 3 inches bigger than what you're going to vacuum pack. And then also see if you can figure out how many times you'll be getting into that bag for the food. Now I know that I'll get into the cheese at least 3 times. So I'm going to make my bag big enough so I can do that. Take your scissors and cut the bag. Now all we have to do is seal one end. So you lift up the operating lever and you lay the bag on the sealer bar. Make sure that you have the smooth side of the bag facing up. Close the lever, press down, and push the locking clips in towards the middle of the machine. Now you're ready to seal one end of the bag. Turn it on by pressing the on button down and the sealer button. It will shut off automatically. That fast, we have sealed one end of the bag. Now you can put anything that you want in your bag. We're going to vacuum pack the cheese. Slide the cheese in and lay the edge of the bag inside the vacuum channel. Make sure that it's flat all the way across the sealing bar. Close the operating lever, press down, push the clips in towards the middle of the machine, and now you're ready to take the air out of the bag. It's easy to do, too. All you do is press down the on button, and it starts to pull all the air out of the bag. Now watch right here. The indicator light has turned green, and that means the air's out. So now you can seal it. All you do is keep the on button depressed and press down on the sealer activator. That seals the end of the bag and shuts off automatically. That fast, we vacuum pack the cheese. Let's do it one more time. And this time I'll use an 11-inch wide roll and show you how to vacuum pack corn on the cob. All you do is make your bag the same way that we just did, sealing one end of it, put the corn in the bag, and then lay the edge of the bag material right inside the vacuum channel. Make sure that you have it smooth all the way across the sealing bar so that you get an even seal. Close the operating lever, press down and push the clips in towards the middle. Now you're ready to pull out the air. All you do is press the on button on, and it pulls the air out of the bag. Now look for the indicator light to come on. It's turned green. Now press down on the sealer button. It'll seal the bag and shut off automatically. Wasn't that simple? Now if you're going to make more than one bag at a time, it's a good idea to keep the operating lever up. That way the sealer bar stays cool. Okay, let's learn how to vacuum pack in jars. Let's talk about vacuum packing in jars. Now, even though your Foodsaver will take all the air out of a mason jar or Foodsaver canister, there's no heat involved, so it doesn't take the place of canning. You can't do that with your Foodsaver. But you can use all those jars that you have in your home that are mason jars. Now, remember that you always want to use a glass-tempered mason jar. And we have found that most delicate fruits, vegetables, and liquids will last much longer when they're vacuum packed in a mason jar or a Foodsaver canister. Now, if you have one of the smaller jars at home, the narrow mouth mason jar, we have an attachment that's available for those jars. Just give our customer service team a call and they'll be happy to tell you how to get one. In the demonstration today, we're going to use the wide jar sealer that comes with your Foodsaver. All you do is take the hose and connect it to the jar attachment port on top of the operating lever. Attach the other end to the jar sealer right here. Now, close the locks and you're ready to vacuum pack. Take a glass-tempered mason jar, fill it with your fresh fruit, vegetables, or liquid. Make sure you leave about an inch or so from the very top, especially with liquids, in case they expand. Take your lid, put it on top, and always use a new lid. If you've used a lid for canning, it won't work for vacuum packing. Take the jar sealer and place it right on top of the wide mouth. Press down firmly so it's sealed all the way around. Now you're ready to take the air out of the jar the same way we took the air out of the bag. Here's how you do it. Make sure that the operating lever is down, that the clips are pushed into the middle and it's locked in place. Then turn the on switch on. Press down. As soon as the clips release and that light comes on and turns green, you're done. That fast, we've taken all the air out of the jar. Take off the jar sealer, and that's vacuum packed. Now let's do that once again. And this time I'll show you how to vacuum pack using liquids. Salad dressings, cooking oil, they last much longer when they're vacuum packed. Once again, make sure that this is completely clean and that it's a new one. Now you can use them over and over again if you've never used them for canning. Make sure that this is clean, that there's no oil. If you're vacuum packing flour, that there's no flour on here, so that you have a clean contact. Put the lid on top of the jar. Put the jar sealer on top of the lid. Press down firmly all the way around. Make sure the operating lever is closed. Press down. Push the locking clips in towards the middle of the machine, and now you're ready to take the air out of the jar. To do that, press the on button. The clips will release as soon as the air's out. Just release your hands and it shuts off automatically. That fast, we've vacuum packed the oil. Now, if you want to get into these jars and you want to make sure that you can use them over and over again, use the back of a knife or a quarter or a coin, and all you do is run the coin right around the jar lid and that little glass rim. Pop it up, and that releases the vacuum. I'll show you that once again with the strawberries. Take a coin or the back of a knife, find that glass rim and run the quarter right there, then pop it up. It's that simple. Remember, you can use these over and over again. Now, let's find out how to vacuum pack in a Foodsaver canister. The Foodsaver canisters are my favorite Foodsaver accessories because you can do so many things with them. And remember that when you're vacuum packing in a bag, mason jar, or a canister and you're using fresh food, make sure you refrigerate it. Even though it's vacuum packed, you still have to put it in the refrigerator. Now you can freeze in our Foodsaver bags, however don't freeze in the canisters. And when you're going to vacuum pack hot or warm liquids, make sure you cool them down first before you vacuum pack them. Okay, let me show you how to vacuum pack inside of a Foodsaver canister. Once again, make sure that you have the Foodsaver hose attached to the port and attached to your jar sealer, just like when we did the mason jars. Take a look at the lid of the canister. You can see that there's 3 words on it. It says open, vacuum, and closed. Make sure you have the red arrow pointing to the word vacuum because you're going to vacuum the air out of the canister. Make sure that the seal on the lid is clean, that there's no flour or food or oil, and make sure the top of the canister is clean also. Then all you do is take the lid, put it on top of the canister. Take your jar sealer and put it on top of the lid. Now press down firmly. Now let's get ready to vacuum pack it. All you do is press down and lock the locking clips in place and turn the machine on. Now it takes a little bit longer to take the air out of a canister than it does out of a jar, but once again listen for the clips to release, watch for the green indicator light, and then release your hand. It shuts off automatically, and that fast we vacuum pack the lettuce. One more thing to do. Turn that red arrow from the word vacuum to the word closed. That way you're sure that it'll stay vacuum packed. Now, where does the lettuce go? That's right, into the refrigerator. Let me show you how to do this one more time, and this time we'll vacuum pack with flour. Now, the great thing about using the canisters is they hold more than a canning jar, but when you vacuum pack something like flour, it stops the bugs from being able to grow inside the flour, so your flour lasts longer. Once again, make sure that that arrow is pointing towards the word vacuum. Make sure that the seal on the lid is clean, that there's no flour here. And make sure that the top of the canister is clean. Put the lid on top, take the jar sealer, press it down firmly, close the locking clips, and then turn the machine on. As soon as the green light comes on, you'll hear the clips release. Release your finger. That fast, we vacuum pack the flour. What's the last thing to do? That's right, turn it to the word closed. Now, when you're ready to open up the canisters, it's easy to do. All you do is turn the arrow from the word closed all the way to the word open, because you're going to open up the canister. Now, when I do that, listen for the sound of freshness. It's the sound of the vacuum releasing. Did you hear that? That's your assurance that it was vacuum packed. That's how easy it is to use your Foodsaver vacuum canisters. Now let's join Sandy Rust, our culinary consultant, as she tells us how we can prepare our meals in advance using the Foodsaver. We've invited Sandy here because she's known for her great ideas in using the Foodsaver. She's going to show you and me today how we can plan ahead our meals for the Foodsaver for the whole month. Well, it looks like you've got everything here from soup to nuts.
You got that right.
Well, what can you show us about using the Foodsaver?
Oh, there are so many things, you know. This Foodsaver can save you an enormous amount of time and money. Go to the market early in the month, package up for the entire month. You can make kits, you can make mixes, like our soup. Soup is the first course. I love starting with soup.
Is that what we have over here?
That's exactly what we have here. You save up your bones when you're doing your boning and your trimming of all your meats. You just put them in your little Foodsaver bag and throw them in the freezer. When you're ready to make soup, you pull them out, and here's what you do. You prepare a lovely big batch of soup. Why waste the time and energy to make a small one? Then you take this wonderful little saran, you put it inside your soup bowl. You put the soup in, you pop it into the freezer. When it comes out of the freezer, this is what happens. You take it out of here and you put it in a bag and you seal it. Now, when you go to serve your soup, you're not chiseling off a little piece from a huge brick. You can use a little bowl of soup. You can use a cup of soup. You can do little cups of soup and have them ready to go, little bowls of soup. And you just pull them out and save a lot of time and money, and it's all set to go.
So the soup is frozen, vacuum packed in the freezer, ready whenever you want a hot, quick bowl of soup.
Yes.
I like it. This is terrific. So you start out with soup. And what's next?
You just pop it into the microwave with your microwave-safe cup and/or bowl, and you're ready to go. The next thing you can do, a rice pilaf, is a wonderful side dish. You bring home a wonderful bulk purchase. I love bulk. In all kinds of herbs and spices and rices, and what you do is you measure out what you need to make one batch for your family. Put all of your herbs, spices, and rice in here and seal it. Then on the top of the bag, we label what's in here, and we also label what goes with it. This particular one, we need 2 tablespoons of butter and 3 cups of broth. Open it up when you get home from work, throw it in, and turn it on, and you've got a wonderful rice pilaf ready to go.
This is great.
Great side dish.
Plus, when you use what's up in the bag, you can reuse the bag again.
Time and time again. That's why we label the bags up at the top, so that when you trim them, next time, who knows, we might have blueberries in here.
I like it. Okay, so we've done soup and rice dishes.
Right.
And
how about some lasagna?
I love lasagna.
You love lasagna. Everybody loves lasagna.
You have a lot of lasagna here, too.
Yeah, it's great. What you do is you're very wise with the lasagna. When you make it, make lots. big batches, okay? And you put that saran wrap we just talked about in your lasagna dish. You pack your lasagna, pop it in the freezer, pull it out, pack another one, and keep going. You can stack them high in the freezer. When it comes out of the freezer, you put it in here, you pull the seal on it, and then you stack them up in the freezer. And if you have guests pop in, you've got your plate ready to go. You've been using it, and you know the lasagna is going to fit it because we froze it in there.
I just love this idea that you have of making everything in the dish that you're going to serve it in, vacuum pack and freeze it so that it fits the dish when you take it out, pop it right into the oven or the microwave. That's great. So we've got lasagna for an entree.
Yes. And the beauty of it is that you are not eating food that has been prepared with chemicals. Everything you're feeding your friends and your family is fresh and good and nutritious meal.
Okay, well, what about this steak that we have here?
Oh, yes. This is a wonderful way to save on the budget, but also you buy your meat in bulk, you can make the smaller portions. But nutritionally, with beef, it's a very good idea to have low-fat beef, but we all know those cuts are kind of wang leather. You know, they're very, very tough. But if you take this, as a wonderful, magical thing happens, and you just use a fork, and you put little holes in it with a fork. Not many, just a couple across.
Right into the meat.
Right into the meat. Then you pull the vacuum on it, and what it does is it tenderizes that cut of meat. So you have that lovely flavor, but still fork tender. It's very, very delicious. You can also do a marinade, magnificently easy with this machine. In my cooking classes, I teach a sauté dish that is just absolutely fabulous. But it takes 48 hours to marinate, and you know what happens while you're waiting for 48 hours. Well, with this wonderful machine, all you do is you put your meat in here, you put your marinade in here, you put the lid on your canister, and you pull your vacuum. Put it in the refrigerator. In 20 minutes, it's ready to cook. And it really tastes even better than the 48-hour marinade, because when you pull the vacuum, it widens the tissue so that the marinade can really get down into the meat.
And it takes only 20 minutes, really?
20 minutes, that's all it takes.
So
you're ready to cook. How about that for a barbecue, huh?
I am ready, but just so I've got this correct, you take the meat and defrost it in the refrigerator inside the bag.
Right.
Then you take the meat out and put it inside the canister.
Right.
And I think you've got some marinade over here that's vacuum packed, so you just open this and put it inside here.
Right on top.
And then use the wide jar sealer to vacuum pack this and leave it in the refrigerator for 20 minutes, and it's ready for the barbecue or the grill.
Right.
Isn't that great? This is just fantastic. I love it. So now we've done steaks and lasagna, and I see some vegetables over here and some fruits, so tell me about those.
One of my favorite things. Fruits and vegetables, lovely colors, wonderful nutrition, very expensive out of season. But if you watch it in season, and you go to those farmers markets, you know, that are popping up all over the country, you buy it in season, ripe and perfect. You bring it home, clean it, you freeze the fruit on a little cookie sheet in the freezer. When it's frozen solid, you take it out and you vacuum pack it. Now look, doesn't that look beautiful and vibrant with color and flavor?
These colors are fantastic.
And you have it year round. It's a wonderful sauce ready to go. With the vegetables, all you do is like this white corn, one of my personal favorites, but we all know how much that costs year round. Well, when it's in season, it's very inexpensive. You buy it, you shuck it, you blanch it. Now with vegetables, please make sure that you blanch them. Number one, the blanching pulls the sugar up and it tastes better. But it also kills the bacteria on the surface. Then you cool it down before you put it in the bag in the refrigerator. When it's nice and cool, put it in your bag, pull your vacuum. And a bonus to this is that when you take it out and defrost it, there is no reason to take it out of the bag to cook it, because you put it into boiling water and you can cook it right in the boiling water in the bag.
This is terrific. You have some outstanding ideas. So now we're getting to, well, you could actually have an intimate meal or enough food ready, planned, prepared to feed a whole army.
Absolutely.
Have you saved room
Party
for
on
my
wheels.
favorite course, though?
The most important course.
Dessert.
Right.
What are we going to do?
Dessert is wonderful in that if you plan ahead, particularly holiday season where we're doing all of the baking, if you take the time to measure the same day you're baking, you get very worn out from the glitter in the kitchen. The whole thing is really unpleasant. But if you take a day and do all of your measuring, measure all of your dry ingredients. As you see with the cake right here, we have the cake all ready to go. We have all the dry ingredients are measured, and on the top we tell us what kind of cake and what other ingredients go in. Goes on the shelf, it'll last forever because there's no oxygen in here, so it's not going to decay. It'll work beautifully.
And you never have to go back and look up the recipe because you've just written down exactly what you need to add to it.
It's the temperature, the other ingredients, everything is on there. And if you're baking, why not do 2 or 3 cakes. Throw them in the freezer. When they're hard, put them in a bag and pull a vacuum on them. Mark the cake. Now, how's this for dessert? Take some of those beautiful peaches with a little ambrosia, and over here it goes, and what a dessert. And you've got it all ready to go. For cookies, we always have, cookie lovers in the world. What you do is you can make up your batter, as you see over here, that you have the cookie batter all ready to go, or you can do a double, triple batter, and what you do is make logs, cookie logs. While you're making cookies, make an extra batch.
And you put what the name of the cookie is, the temperature,
oatmeal,
and the number of minutes in the
11
oven.
minutes.
You
so
make
when
it
you
very
feel like
easy.
a cookie, you just open it up, take one log out, reseal your bag. Now, if you're watching the Late Late movie and you just really ought to have just one cookie, what you do is take your little ice cream scoop and you do individual weighed cookies. Particularly if you're counting your calories and you want to know exactly how many calories you're taking in, you can have them all pre-measured. So you open the bag and you pop 1 or 2 cookies on a sheet and then reseal your bag and it goes back in the freezer.
That's great, but you'd really have to have a lot of willpower to just make one of those cookies, especially looking at them, how good they look. Well, it looks like you have shown us just about everything you can possibly do with the Foodsaver in planning and preparing meals in advance. Is there anything else that you might want to share with us quickly?
Yes, our salad.
Ah,
Our wonderful salad. Everyone knows how wonderful salads taste and how much we hate cleaning the lettuce and getting everything ready for the salad. The beauty of the canister is that you make this lovely salad, don't put the dressing on, you save that for at the table. This is done for the entire week. Now, every time you want a salad, you just open the canister. You hear that wonderful noise of freshness there, that sound of freshness. Take out your salad, put the dressing on, reseal this with a vacuum, and back into the refrigerator it goes. So for a week, the lettuce is all washed and ready to go. I know in my family, we throw away a lot of lettuce if we don't have it under vacuum.
I like this, especially because you can, it looks like to me you can do a whole week's worth of salad in the 8-quart canister and store it in the refrigerator.
You sure can.
That is terrific. Anything else?
Yeah. Want to come over to dinner?
I'd love to. In fact, we'll cook it all up as soon as we're
Let's cook it
finished
up.
today. I like it. Well, thanks for being here. It's been great having you.
I've loved being here.
And it's been great sharing all these great ideas with you from Sandy Rust, using the Foodsaver so that you can plan and prepare your meals in advance. Now, don't forget, there's a lot of non-food items you can vacuum pack with the Foodsaver. Vacuum pack first aid kits and clothes when you go on a camping and boating trip. That way, when you get there, they'll get there safe and dry. Vacuum pack a flashlight, walkie-talkie, flares, batteries, even those small articles that you might lose like beef jerky, matches, a lighter. When they're vacuum packed, they stay in one place and in one bag. Vacuum pack tire chains for the summer months. That way they'll stay rust-free and they're locatable because they're in a bag. Vacuum pack silver, either in a bag, mason jar, or the Foodsaver canister. When you vacuum pack it, it prevents tarnishing. Vacuum pack your documents that you want to save. Old pictures, books, special newspapers and events. When you vacuum pack them, you keep away the air and the humidity. They'll last longer. You know, you can even use the Foodsaver to vacuum pack those very special items, special tools, glues that you want to make sure they won't dry out, but you only use once or twice a year. You can even vacuum pack something as unique as a circuit board to keep it away from dust and humidity. In fact, you can use the Foodsaver for just about everything that your imagination will let you. So send us your Foodsaver ideas. Well, I hope this tape has shown you just how versatile your Foodsaver VH-2000 can be. One of the best things you can do is to read your owner's manual thoroughly and review this tape from time to time. Now it's your turn to have fun with your Foodsaver VH-2000.